welcome to Dimitri's Horror Corner. It's a thing I want to do somewhat regularly, though I don't know how often I'll do it, where I watch with friends really bad horror movies, and then we talk about them for a little bit, like a little review, because I love really bad horror movies. So if you have a movie you think I should watch, leave it in the comments.
Down below.
So here are my friends.
Hi, I'm Lee, and I watched a movie.
He also has a YouTube channel.
Yes, I do. It's Lee David Gaming, and I do all sorts of fun stuff with Magic the Gathering and other interesting Steam games and whatnot. So check it out.
I'm Tracy, I'm MTG Goddess, and I post videos about Magic the Gathering. I'm a pretty real guy.
I promise I have more friends than just Tracy. This is also Tracy's camera. We watched Dead Silence, which was on Netflix.
Surprisingly not that silent of a film.
No.
Surprisingly.
Okay, there are gonna be spoilers. It's on Netflix, you should see it. It's a pretty short one, it's pretty good. Basically, there's a guy, he gets a ventriloquist dummy on his doorstep, and then they open the dummy, and then a ghost comes and kills his wife, and he's accused of murder, and him and the cop go to his old town, and there's this ghost who kills people if you scream, and...
Long story short, it's a ghost out for revenge against the family because one little snot-nosed kid said that the woman was moving her lips.
No, and then they burned her alive.
Yeah, that's
they
it.
cut her tongue out
Yeah,
and
that's
killed
it.
her.
But then there's a whole thing about
Yeah.
against her. Yeah.
I enjoy the movie. It's not like a fantastic movie, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of horror movies are really just not like. I just think it's
I
interesting.
think
Like
there
a
are
lot of
really good
people, there are, but like I feel like a lot of times they're not on the top of people's lists for this is one of my favorite movies of all time or anything
I
like
think
that. So
horror movies are very hit or miss,
yeah.
just because of you go there to be scared, and it's such a subjective thing being scared.
Well, yeah, because it's like you're already expecting, you know, the
Right.
A, B, and C cliches.
Right, and if the movie's about something that doesn't scare you, then it's like, well, you're not gonna find it scary. So
I mean,
Exactly.
I think even so, like, there's always the typical, like, pop-up, like, horror movie things that happen in pretty much a good percentage of horror movies that, the kind of cheap tricks that
The
you see a lot
classic
of.
jump
That's
scares.
Classic.
That's
like,
why I'm really glad found footage is starting to get out, because I really can't stand found footage. But this film, I was saying to them before just now, I really liked like the last 20 minutes of the film.
yeah.
Correction, you like the cop in the last 20
I
minutes.
love the cop and the last 20 minutes of the film. The cop is every cop cliche, every disgruntled cop cliche ever, and he's fantastic, and I love him. And there's a part where he has to chase after the guy, the protagonist in the car, and he goes, "Come on, I don't have a full tank of gas."
It was like my favorite line, I think, of the whole film.
Honestly, he realized he was in a horror film half the time and was
Yes.
like, dude,
He's just
the doll's telling you to go closer. Don't do it. Don't go closer.
he's just so put off by everything that's happening.
Oh,
Like this is gonna totally throw off his schedule. Like how inconsiderate
I mean,
these ghosts.
but also remember, this cop also dug up 100 graves to realize that there were no bodies in them. So
Yeah.
how much of his schedule is actually
He does
like
seem to have
there?
a lot of free time. But yeah, the last 20 minutes are really good, and the ending, I really liked the ending. The first time I saw that, the part where they reveal she was pregnant
Yeah.
made me gasp.
Oh
audibly
yeah.
the first time. I was like, oh shit.
It makes sense,
And it
but
did make sense,
Yeah.
but it was like you're not thinking
And
about that
the
when everything else happening.
foreshadowing in the beginning when she,
Yeah.
you know, puts the thing in her belly and you're like,
Mhm.
oh, okay, like she wants a child,
Right.
and you know, you don't really know how much
Well,
to like look into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking back, you're like, oh wow, that's
Oh
really
wow,
obvious.
that's really obvious. And like I think that's a really cool detail that a lot of times
Right.
movies do, like horror movies and things like that. You know?
You know what I think is actually really
And then
funny?
the also thing with the dad, I really liked.
No, yeah, that
Yeah.
I was just about to get into that.
I gasped
Like-
at that also.
Like the whole thing where he has a the portrait set up where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, these are, you know, he paints out the dead wives. You'll be next. It's like anti-foreshadowing
Yeah,
because
you were like, she's gonna die. That's what
the
that
second
means.
that they mentioned that, I was like, okay, she is easily going to be one of those people that just dies off and has like the innocent bystander for X, Y, and Z
Yeah.
reasons. Turns out, spoilers, she's the villain of the whole thing, and I'm just
Well, she's a
like,
doll.
Yeah, and I was like, well, there go my theories.
I guess she's a,
Well, yeah, because now they have to paint out the husband.
Well, yeah. I watched it with them and I'd seen it a couple times before, so the whole time Lee was like, "Stepmom's gonna die," and I had to be
Yeah.
quiet and like.
You were like on your tablet playing Star Wars.
I was.
Get out of here,
Playing
like.
Star Wars.
Yeah, you know what it is? I get really bad
But-
with movies because if I think I know the ending, I'll just keep repeating myself,
It was
and
fun.
I'll
That's
just, it's just what I do,
I think that's the
unfortunately.
fun of a lot of times like horror movies is depending on how seriously you take it is like calling out the things that you think are gonna happen. Like I always love doing that. Like I know some people are like, oh, when I watch a movie I want to be like straight up like we're watching this movie and like that's what we're doing. Like,
Yeah.
we don't talk and I'm like, now I talk all the time. Like
Oh, yeah.
I know that bothers so many people, but like I feel like
Obviously,
it's
for
different. Like
horror
I think
club,
it's
it's not
different
gonna be
for
like that.
for a horror like sort of incident. I think it's always like usually more acceptable because a lot of times like it's so easy. Like if you talk over a line, a lot of times it's not really the end of the world.
Right.
No,
Like
you know
that,
what it is?
But subtitles on.
You know
Sometimes
what?
we had subtitles on.
Yeah, yeah. You know what it is? This wasn't just a horror film, though. It was a mystery film as well.
It was.
Yeah,
So
that's kind of
there was a
like
sense
the
of
thriller, I guess.
who's behind everything type thing. Like you
Well, we
knew
kind
that.
of knew.
Well, you knew the driving force, but you never knew who exactly was a puppet.
Yeah.
So there is that mystery
Yeah.
element to it, which
Yeah,
is
you
why
didn't
you
know
have the
who
plot
was.
twist
That's a good
with
point.
the ending.
I also mentioned this when we were watching it. They try to make the cop almost like a red herring because he's like super aggressive about following the guy for a while.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
but
yeah,
he
no,
doesn't
that,
come off as a red herring. He just comes off as a douche, and it's like, well, all right.
No.
And he's obsessed with having
Like-
his razor, and he like shaves his beard a bunch of times on screen because having quirks equals character traits, I guess.
No, you know what it is? That cop.
Yeah, no, it's like any
is-
female character when she drops things. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, she's a cute quirky girl. It's
Yeah.
fine.
No, like easily that cop was every other stereotype who then
Yeah.
becomes a believer after investing God knows how much of the police resources in on digging up graves of
And then he
of
pulls a
dummy
shotgun
dolls.
out of his trunk
Okay.
for no reason.
I am convinced that he didn't have a boat to get to the final
Yeah,
scene.
they still didn't show us the boat, did they?
No, they never did. All the shot was the protagonist getting in the boat and rowing away,
Yeah, there's a
and then
lake between the thing, and they had to take a ferry basically to
Yeah.
where the final battle happens.
the final reveal,
Which-
or one of the reveals.
I really like that scene with the dolls and they find out all the stuff, and I really like that scene
Yeah.
also. Like from there onward, it's my favorite part of the movie. But they show him taking the only boat that we see across the lake, and then the cop pulls up, and we're like,
Yeah.
so how does he get there?
I'm-
And he's like,
Here's
it's the
my
power of the shotgun.
Yeah, no, here's my theory. You know how witches ride their brooms across
Yeah.
to fly?
Yes.
My theory is that he rode his shotgun across the lake to get
Alright,
to
yes.
the other side.
Science facts
That's-
from Lee.
Science.
Cops can ride shotguns like witches ride broomsticks.
It only works when you have a badge. That's a science
Yes,
fact.
Science
You know
facts.
what that name reminded me of actually? Have you guys seen The Usual Suspects before with Kevin Spacey?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, it's one of my all-time favorite movies, and
Yes.
spoilers if you haven't seen it, but like.
So many
Wait,
spoilers.
have you seen it, JG? You said no.
No.
Okay, so
Okay.
I'm gonna spoil the ending. So like, there's a complete like twist ending at the end. Okay, I won't spoil it. So it's like.
Okay, I'm gonna do it. JK, never mind.
No, it's fine. I don't want to. So it's a twist ending, and like it's one of those things that when you're watching it, and then it's like all they go back and like flip through all the details, and you're
Like
like,
The
yo, I
Sixth
can't
Sense.
believe I didn't notice that. I haven't seen The Sixth Sense. We should watch that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well, do you know the
Sixth
twist
Sense
ending
is-
of the Sixth Sense? People talk about it all the time.
Oh, I don't actually know, so
Dude,
don't.
that's
Okay.
literally like a
Okay, that's
3-year-old
fine.
movie.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not
I
a
know,
twist
I
ending
know.
anymore.
No, but
I
people
know.
talk about it all the time. If you
I-
actually don't know about it, then I'm
I
you
honestly
should
have
watch it.
probably heard it, but I
Maybe
don't
we'll do
know.
another
So.
one of that. It's on
Yeah,
Netflix.
it's on Netflix. Okay.
Yeah,
So
it
I
is.
Maybe that'll be the next horror club.
That's the next one. We're gonna do it right
We're
now.
gonna do.
We're not gonna do it right now because it's almost 3 a.m. and I have a 9:30 class
Well, you're insane.
with my midterm.
You're
Hey,
insane.
you
Well,
do
we
you.
should probably wrap this up. pretty
All right,
soon.
so final thoughts on the movie. I think the writing's kind of bland, but the last 20 minutes make up for the entire movie for me, and I love the cop.
Overall, I think they're forcing things, but it's a fine film to watch when you've got nothing else to do.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that I'm kind of like, okay, so I tutor and my students that I tutor are doing a unit on the supernatural and ghost stories, and so like I've suddenly just they're doing such their research papers are so cool. Some of them are doing Ouija boards, voodoo dolls, like they're doing really interesting things, and like I was like I just like I was like I want to watch some horror movies, some really bad horror movies, and just like watch them with friends. And,
I
like,
love that.
I was like let me get into it, and it's not something I've really gotten into before, so I was like why don't I do that? And this is kind of why I'm doing it. So yeah.
I live
It's
for
pretty
bad horror
okay,
movies.
Well, what did you think of the film?
Oh yeah, I should probably say that. Yeah. I meant to say that earlier, and I got the chance. Yeah, it's pretty okay. I mean, like, I think that for like a movie that you can laugh at and you can be like, why did this character do that? Like, that's what when I watch horror movies, that's what I do. That's what I like to do. Is I like to be like, why? This character's an idiot. Like, what are they doing? Like, princess.
A lot of this movie was. You have to just accept that the characters are dumb.
Yeah.
'Cause
Like, why did they take the
you-
doll in the first place? I'm
Okay.
still wondering.
Like everything they did was like if you were a rational person, you would not do this.
Okay, this horror
And
film.
then the story would be over because
Okay.
everybody would live.
Okay, here's two situations that we were talking about of how this film could have ended early.
Oh yeah.
A, they could have seen the doll on the front step wrapped up with the guy's name and be like, nope, shut the door completely, end of story.
That's it.
Or,
Credits.
or you could be like, oh, I'm gonna go and get rid of this doll, and that's that, end of story. Although I do have to say the cop kind of spoiled that one because he did try to do that, and the cop was like,
Yeah, the cop.
are you burying your evidence? Why
Although-
did you bury me?
Although it seems like that wasn't going to work anyway because none of the others were buried, and she lived in the doll, and she was in.
Yeah.
And like she was already the stepmom.
Yeah, but like from his knowledge, like he could have just been like, throw you over a cliff into the river forever or whatever, or any other thing.
All right. What's a bad movie that you think we should watch? Me and other friends, not necessarily these two, but probably at least Tracy.
Rude.
Probably at least Tracy.
Rude. Whoa.
Lee,
I
you're
just got
like-
uninvited.
you're like- I love my
way.
life.
So, it doesn't mean I have feelings.
Anyway.
You're all the way in like 5 hours away.
Leave comments. I love you. Bye.
Goodbye. Deuces.
Bye bye.
Can't believe I just said deuces. Can you believe it?
Deuces.